So I read something by someone who said, my grandmother, who came from a former Arab country, said, my grandmother always told me, as soon as the Arabs will have the chance, they will slaughter us. And I thought my grandmother is so primitive. And she was right. Sometimes when I explain why really the Arab opposition to a Jewish state, there's no objective reason for it. It was a small state. It was mostly on malaria-infested land. Arab countries were popping up left and right, getting massive land. There was no displacement. Why? Why the opposition to a Jewish state? And like I said, a big part of it is the unacceptability of Jewish equality for a people who for 1,400 years have only ever known the Jews as dispossessed, displaced, powerless, at the mercy of Arab and Muslim rulers who defend them or don't defend them according to their needs. And sometimes I give examples. I say, there were a lot of markers for the lower status of Jews in Arab and Muslim lands. One of them was, for example, that they could not ride horses. Horses were a mark of dignity. Jews could only ride donkeys. Or Jews, of course, could not bear arms because they were only protected at the mercy of an Arab and Muslim leaders. Now, I always say, imagine that in the midst of the Arab-Muslim world, which again, kudos to them, since the 7th century, the conquests have been hugely successful. It has become the Arab and Muslim world. Imagine that in the midst of that, those lowly Jews are riding horses, right? You look at the early Zionist images, they're riding horses, they're bearing arms, they're insisting on defending themselves by themselves. Imagine the civilizational shock of Jews daring to claim equality, dignity, the right to self-defense. That's the kind of civilizational shock that is always met by violence and the desire to put Jews back where they belong.